Hello out there, all you traders. This is TackleTrading.com. This is Coach Gino with another market recap. To get in today's market recap, pretty interesting day. But first, what I want to do is point out that if you go to our market recap section in TackleTrading.com, right under our clubhouse, this is a free feature. This is a free feature we put on for our visitors and pros alike. Last week, my market recap was, are we bullish now? We had some hints that the market was turning bullish last Thursday, February 25th. So today's the follow-up on that, March 3rd. Sectors turned bullish. So really quite easy report. A lot of stuff in the news as far as economic numbers and stuff. As you know, the market started, if you weren't around, you didn't see this, but the market started to a down note, but picked up later in the day and held at the highs of the day. So we squeaked out a slight gain across the board on the indices, but the bonds were also up. So that's not a real strong move in the case for the markets, but to finish on the high note of the day and the internals, the advances over decliners, meaning there's 2,300 stocks up for every 700 down on the New York Stock Exchange. That's 3-1. That's very strong internals. Now, the highlights today. There's volatility in the foreign exchange market, of course. Oil actually it's going back and forth, but it's actually up higher than it was last week and actually looking a little bit stronger. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but energy is actually looking good too. Biotech demonstrates a little relative weakness to the rest of the market, but still not too bad. Technology, that's the NASDAQ, underperformed. And financials are starting to pick up. That's always a sign for strength. But when you look at the economic numbers, and by the way, if you're reading our our market recap, if you're new to the market recap, this comes out quite a bit. You can get a more in-depth news on exactly what happened every half an hour by clicking this link here. After hours, we have a link here to see what movers were after hours based on earnings and such. But what was interesting is the market started on a down note today because of economic numbers. The factory orders, this was the largest month-over-month decline since December 2014. Factory orders are down 3.3% year over year. Not a great number. The ISM number, 49.5, again, below 50, not a great number. Jobless claims, it's at 278, but it's still between 250 and 300,000, which is the norm. And basically, when you read these economic numbers, that explains why the market opened on a down note. Then why did we rally? Well, because we've been bearish for a while now, and maybe it's short covering. But I'm starting to see a little bit of strength everywhere. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow, we might get a nice rally, or it might tank the markets because the unemployment rate. This is a big one to watch. The Feds are watching this. And to see if they are going to raise rates or not, you can click right here. Last time I checked yesterday, the chance of them raising rates was 6%. This could change drastically after this number comes out tomorrow. So be sure to click here after the unemployment rates, sometime around before the end of the weekend. Go ahead and click here, and this will bring up a page that shows you the probability of them raising rates. I still think they're not going to raise it come March 16th. Now, into the markets. Click on this link. This will bring up the S&P. I like to break it down. Look at the higher highs being made. You have a inverted head and shoulders or a W here. We're hitting resistance today, right below the low broken back here in the middle of December. Now, I put out a bear signal back in December 3rd, and now I'm going to show you where I'm getting my buy signal finally after a few months. Next resistance is the bottom of support here, 219, 220-ish. I think we have a chance of hitting that if the unemployment report's good tomorrow. Indicators, secondary indicators, RSI is above 50. And my volume indicators finally above the respected moving average of 20 days, which means their volume is finally there to back up this breakout. So you never just jump on it on the first day it breaks out. If it pulls back, we got to hold this 1947 area. If it pulls back. Now looking at the weekly chart. Same thing, but you can see a stronger support and resistance on a weekly. We're still in a downtrend on a weekly. The RSI is not there above 50, and the volume is not there. So not a full bull yet. But if you have to play things, I would say favor the bulls. Why? Because here's an indicator I look at. I kind of made up myself. This is the new highs over the last 3 months minus the new lows. When it's above 50, at least 2 days in a row. Today was the first day. Another day above 50, then I'll be pretty bullish on my picks going into the weekend. So stay tuned for the option report. Also, don't forget, here's the S&P right here, the darker line. Look at since my sell signal in December, how it's followed oil in the Chinese market. Okay, they're starting to pick up right now, but it's in unison, the peak and valley at the same time. If these start to tank, that'll be the end of our rally, I believe. But as long as they're doing good, we should be fine. So, simple enough. The markets are bullish. And the sectors, and by the way, the Russell here, we need to change that to bull. We're going to fix that. But if you click on this, this will bring up a chart. You can see right there. That is bullish. Any of the symbols you click on should open up a chart. All the sectors are bullish, and at worst, like healthcare, neutral to bullish. The indicators have triggered. I do need a break above 68 to be real bullish on healthcare. But what's interesting on all these sectors is check out utilities. It's going to the neutral, slightly bullish stance, the flight to safety. They're getting more bullish in other sectors, therefore not as much protection needed in the utilities. Utilities is a flight to safety. Look how it made a lower low down here yesterday. If this sells off, this means people are going to be taking money out of utilities and going into the other sectors. So it's kind of like an inverted or an opposite indicator. So keep your eye on utilities. I bolded that there. Oil, check out oil. I'm putting a neutral signal on this one because the moving average did cross up. We are making slightly higher highs. It's got a ways to go. And the RSI is not quite over 50, but the volume's there, and we are making higher lows. I think oil is a great covered call play on USO right now. We've been doing this for many, many months, many years. And gold and silver, very bullish. Big one. VEU, the rest of the world, breaking out above its resistance area here and turning bullish. But the volume is not there yet. So it is definitely a bullish trend. This could be some massive short covering. I don't think all the bad stuff that we're seeing overseas is done yet, but I don't see this thing rallying up to new highs at all. So I want to see where this thing finally turns and comes back down, and if it holds a 20-day moving average. This is the rest of the world, this ETF, that's not American stocks. It's like looking at all the biggest stocks in the world that are not American. The emerging markets, though, check this out. Definitely bullish. That's a strong sign. And finally, the dollar. The dollar swing high here, hitting resistance. Now, keep your eye on this. I've got this neutral to bullish right now. But if this starts to tank another day like it did today, you can see it bring the market down with it. So final thoughts. Watching my high and low indicator to see if we get another day above 50 to commit to bullish positions. But a key thing you have to develop. You got to go with what you see and not what you feel. So you have to favor the bulls right now. And I don't really see anything really bearish. So look for good setups, stay in bullish sectors, which is basically all of them right now, and keep your eye on the markets. Well, there you have it. That's all I have for you today. This is Coach G with TackleTrading.com. Check in every day for our thoughts and our picks and great education.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.